told him, go and gather 70 elders. I will put from the spirit that I gave to you unto them, and they will do the work. And I read that Bible passage again and again. When they gather elders, God did not take spirit from heaven. He took out of the anointing that he gave to Moses. And he gave to 70. Moses, God made him in such a way that he was a man of one, but that carried more than 70 people's anointing. You remember that when God also called him, the intention of God is to make him to carry out the assignment. But when he began to say, I cannot go, I cannot speak, send another person. Do you know that the ministry of Aaron is not originally intended by God? It is only the cause of reluctance of Moses, unwillingness of Moses, that gave birth to the ministry of Aaron. So when you see Aaron misbehaving, you will not be surprised. The reason is because Aaron was not actually part of the original plan. It is the cause of reluctance of the man who keep on giving an excuses, and you will discover the reason in the life of Aaron. God did not call Aaron. He only brought into ministry because of this reluctance. You will also see it in the life of Aaron. Even though they worked together, the distance between Aaron and Moses, the gap between them is so far, like heaven and earth. Do you know that they labored together for many years? But this Aaron did not know God by himself. It was so terrible to the point that even when God called Moses to go to the mountain for 40 days, Aaron cannot lead people for 40 days. Yet they are working together. It was so bad to the point that you will think that it would be the person that would have led the people of God after the death of Moses. Is that what happened? He was not a disciple. He's only walking. Only Joshua is a disciple. That when God called to Moses and said, come up unto me on the mount, Joshua will say, I will go with you. Even when God did not call Joshua, what will Joshua do? He will go. So when it is time to put somebody who will continue the journey when God finished the journey of Moses, who did he pick? You will think about Aaron. You will think about his children. They are not. His ministry was a ministry that was born out of hunger. Why are we saying this? There is no man that is irreplaceable. No man. When Elijah in his own time began to say, Lord, I am jealous. They've killed all your prophets. I am the only one that remains. What did God told you? You are not the only one. I have many, thousands that have not bowed. I see a son. Are you one of those that are thinking like that? We are even doing our best in America. How are we going to do everything with all this? They are informed you. Even if you choose not to serve him, you are replaceable. So don't think that it is only in America that they are serving God. They are serving God far better in other places. Don't think that you are the one that started Christian race. Before you were born, there are saints that have gone ahead of us. So you are not the one to determine the terms of the race now. What the Bible said to us in the book of Hebrews chapter 12. Saints has gone ahead. Go and read that chapter 11. They lived their lives. Why are you running as if you are the one that started it? Why do you want to be serving God as if Christianity starts from you? And because there are saints that have gone ahead of us, we cannot begin to misbehave now. We can't. Unless our service will not be acceptable. We can't begin to run the church the way we want. God has a standard. And if you are not going to be following that standard, you can gather people, but God will not be there. The Bible said the foundations of God standeth sure and have this seal that God knows those who are his. And everyone that is called by the name of the Lord, the list of the qualification is that they must depart from iniquity. So what are you doing with it? What are you doing with the work of flesh? So when you hear the message about the flesh and you are triggered and say, why is it so difficult like that? Or you don't think that there are some saints of God that have lived that life before? Don't think that you are the only one. Don't think that Christianity starts with you. And don't think that without you, God will not have people that will serve him in his generation. You remember, in the New Testament, when Jesus was going to Jerusalem, and the children had said, Hosanna in the highest, and they came to him, Master, tell them, they are making noise, silence these people. What did Jesus tell them? If you are able to silence them, the Lord is able to raise stones. From these stones, he will raise those that will praise him. So when you hear here, I say to you, through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, as God has dealt to each other a measure of faith, or is telling you about something serious. He's telling you that God will only use people that have come to the end of themselves. People that have come to the end of themselves. People that have come to tell him that I am nothing. You are the only one. Those are the ones that is used, he can use to build the New Testament church. When you read the New International Version of the same verse, for by grace given to me, I say to every one of you, don't think of yourself more highly than you ought to think, but rather to think yourself with sober judgment in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. So this matter is very, very important if you will grow in the service of the kingdom. If you will grow in the service of the kingdom that he has called you, you must grow in the measure of your faith. You must grow in your grace. You must not discredit the grace where that God has given to you in attempt for you to be competing with another person's grace. No. That is very, very important. If I step my feet to another person into the area where I was not given grace, the only thing that I can do is to be struggling. It's just to be struggling. And that is what you see in many lives today. You are sweating for nothing. Many will come to me that day